So let's get into the text now. Let's get into, for example, it says most Christians will point to, but what about Psalm 20 or what about Isaiah 14, where it talks about, uh, I think it's Isaiah 4, whatever it says that a virgin shall be born. Let's start with that one. Let's start with that. What is it? Let's get into this. What does it really
Yeah.
say in the Hebrew, and how did it go from what it says in the Hebrew to what it says in Greek?
Yeah. So how do you like people fake their driver's license? Like how do people cash checks that were never in them? They forge, they change text, they print it out. They have 3D printers that can do it. I mean, how, what? All right. So the text in Isaiah 7:14 says, L'chein yitem Hashem hu lechem os, behold, the Lord of his own will give you a sign. Hine alma hora, behold, the young woman is pregnant, v'yoledes bain, and she's going to give birth to a son, v'karas shemo Emmanuel, and she will call his name Emmanuel. That's the text.
Let me just jump in. Let's say I'm a Christian on the street, and you just told me that, and I'll say,
Right.
well, why can't the word Alma mean virgin? What do you say to that?
So what we would do is we would find let's say you don't know any Hebrew at all. Like, how do you know the Jews aren't making this up? Okay, this is good. This is real. So let's think. I want to think this through with you. So presumably you don't speak Hebrew. So like, how do you know? Now you can go to any Israeli in the world and say, how do you say virgin Hebrew? Virginity is really important in faith in the Bible. It's a word that appears nearly 150 times. Isaiah uses it numerous times. So being a virgin is a real big deal, and it's the same word in both biblical and modern Hebrew. But how do you know? I mean, there's a lot at stake, because if Matthew in chapter 1, verse 23 lied about this, then the whole New Testament loses its credibility, and Christianity is the biggest fraud that was perpetrated on mankind. So how do you know I'm telling you the truth? There's a lot at stake. So I'll tell you a lot of stuff. First of all, so what we would like to do, even though it's a very well-known, we'd like to do is we'd like to take the word Alma, which appears many times in the Hebrew Bible, and see how it is used in other places. That means, for example, in Proverbs chapter 30, verse 19, we're told about derech gever bialma, the way of a man is with a young woman. And then it continues discussing that she is actually an adulterous woman. And after they commit an act of fornication, all she has to do is wash herself up and say, I have done nothing wrong. That's some virgin for you.
That uses the word Alma there, right?
Yes, of course. Derek Gever Bialma. Sweethearts,
That
look
is
it
a
up.
good example right there. Wow.
Bing bongo. In 1 Samuel chapter 17, verse 56, King David is called an Elam. That's the masculine version of this. So what was King David then a virgin too? I mean, this is outrageous. And it is women. Look, it is young women that get pregnant and have babies as opposed to old women. This is really simple. I'll tell you something I never told anyone publicly. I mean, I just never came up. I'll tell you something really interesting. The Christian Bible was translated into the Hebrew language in the 19th century. It's a very, very famous translation, and it was done by a guy named Franz Delitzsch. Franz Delitzsch was a genius of a Hebraeus. He was a Christian, a devout Christian, and he was in the Christian world, he was one of the greatest, if not the greatest Hebraeus of the 19th century. His commentary on what he called the Old Testament is necessary for all scholars to understand every Christian view of all this stuff, okay? He's just huge, okay? He embarks on translating the Christian Bible into the Hebrew language. Why he does it? Well, he would like Jews to believe in Jesus, so he translates the New Testament in Hebrew. Now, here's what's so interesting.
I don't know if this is the same version, but I was going to show you this at the end, but I used to they used to pass these out at my church. They're Hope for Israel Bibles. They're New Testament.
Okay, this is going to blow your crazy mind away. What I'm about to say, I've taught, but I've never said on air before. Okay, So you're going to get this, and this is going to pow, okay? So right now, just take my word for it until you Google it. Franz Delitzsch is a giant. He was and his translation really is so well done, and it is. It's like just so well done that it is still the Hebrew translation of the New Testament to this day. I mean, and we didn't arrange this. You happen to have one in front of you. Okay, this is beautiful. So here's a very interesting thing we can do. See, what Christians are arguing is that's the word alma that means a virgin, but like a married virgin. This is such a scam, you have no idea. So if you go to the book of Luke, now I don't know, because I can't see you. For the viewers, know that I can't see you, so I just hear. So if you go to Luke chapter 1, verse 27, in that Bible done by Franz Delitzsch, was given up by whatever, New Hope. There are a lot of places that give this out, okay? That is the text where Mary is called a virgin, to a virgin betrothed to a man named Joseph of the house of David, and the virgin's name was Mary, okay? That's Luke chapter 1, verse 27. I plead with you to look this up.
Got it right here. Luke
Bingo.
chapter 1, Lucas.
Verse
I
27.
actually know how to read a little bit of Hebrew. I can't like say it, talk. I can read the words though. I know you can't see, but just so people can see. See, it says on the top. It says El Lamek Vav Kof Samek. That's Lucas. All right. So Lucas chapter 1. What is it?
Verse 27.
Verse 27. So you're saying that he translated it back to Hebrew?
Yeah. So he took the Greek and he translated it into Hebrew, okay? Got it? That's what Franz Delitzsch does at the end of the 19th century. This is a very famous thing, okay?
Okay. I'm looking at the verse, but let me see if I can find the word. What's the word?
I've never done this on air.
No.
So the word virgin, you would think he'd use the word alma, because after all, it's the word alma that means a virgin.
Yeah, I don't see the word alma on here.
But what you do see is betula. So look up the Hebrew that he's using. The word betula will appear in the Hebrew of Franz Delitzsch twice. It says in Delitzsch's translation, it says El betula.
Oh my God, I found it.
Ma'orasha li'ish asher shmo Yosef mi beis David b'shem habesula Miriam.
I'm going to show it right now. Hold on, I just found it.
You found it, right? So am I making this up?
Okay, look at whoever's watching this right now. Verse 27. It says Gazarat El Betula.
Betula, bingo. This is mind-blowing. You know, I was always a little nervous. I'll tell you, I'm not, this is not like we didn't arrange this. You had no idea I was going to discuss this. I've never discussed this with anyone on air. It just sort of never came up. That's crazy. Do you see what I'm saying? Look, there's a lot at stake here. I mean, if Christianity is a true religion, everyone should be in church. And if it isn't, it is the worst human iteration in history. It's the worst thing in the world. And here's the scam. I'm showing to you quite literally in black and white. Right now. Isn't it blown away? I mean,
1 second. I gotta explain this to people who might not understand what I'm talking about.
Take your time.
The word betula is not in Isaiah. In this particular Hebrew New Testament, he's quoting Isaiah, but he's changing the word from alma, which means young woman. He's changing it to the word betula, which means virgin, showing you that the verse is wrong and he had to fix it.
It gets even naughtier, a little naughtier. I'm going to edge of you, like, how can it get naughtier than this? So, as it turns out, Luke doesn't quote the verse. He just says it, and that's the way Luke does. He just says it. Matthew actually says, like it says in the prophet, Matthew 1:23. So you'll notice in Delitzsch's translation, which you have in front of you, in Matthew 1:23, so he's forced. If you go there, he used the word alma because he's stuck, because he's saying he's quoting Isaiah in Matthew 1:23. You have to keep a finger in Luke 1:27. You see what I mean? This is more scammy. This is so over the top that if you're pregnant, if your mother was ever pregnant, if you could spell the word pregnant, this show is not for you. Could just flip you out when I'm showing you. This is like the scam of not of the century, of the last 1,000 years, 2,000 years. And here again, I am using a hostile witness. That means Franz Delitzsch was a devout Christian. He translated the Christian Bible to Hebrew to convert Jews to Christianity because it was in Hebrew. And it is just by far the most famous translation. Other people have tried it after him. No one got close, and it actually reads very well. He did a terrific job on the translation. But he knew himself, when Luke is going to use the term virgin about Mary, he knew that the word to use is Betula, not the word Alma, thus uncovering the scam of Matthew. That's how mind-blowing this is.
אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא ועת נעשה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא